My name is Amy Fye, and this is the third grade lesson on informational text instruction. Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to be using multiple strategies to help us comprehend text that we read. Okay, today we're going to be using informational text. That is something that will be kind of new to us. So we are going to use what is known as the Collaborative Strategic Reading, or CSR. Here is the breakdown of CSR on the board. CSR stands for Collaborative Strategic Reading. Collaborative means working together. Strategic reading means to plan to understand and remember what you read, okay? So this has four main parts. There's preview, click and clunk, get the gist, and wrap up, okay? Preview is used prior to reading. Okay, we're just previewing. Wrap up is used at the end of reading. And click and clunk and get the gist are used multiple times during the reading. Okay, so Mrs. Fye is going to show you how you are going to do this. Okay, we're going to take a look. On the board there is a article, informational text article titled Volcanoes. Okay, we're going to take a look at that, and I'm going to kind of model how you're going to use the CSR when you're reading, okay? So you can learn to do it independently. Okay, so I am going to preview this, and oftentimes with informational text, you'll notice that there's titles or headings, illustrations, maps, subtitles. There's all kinds of information you can just scan through initially and look at and see, just kind of take an idea of what you think the article's about, okay? So I'm gonna scan this. And based on the title, I see this text is about volcanoes, okay? So now I'm going to brainstorm what I know about volcanoes. From stories I've read or other texts that I've read, movies that I've watched, I know volcanoes contain lava, right? I've watched cartoons that it's the red stuff that's kind of flowing, and you know when they erupt, it kind of spills down the side. Okay, I know that, so I'm gonna write that on the board. Okay, and I know that they can erupt, causing lava to flow out of the volcano. Okay, I know that volcanoes are typically in tropical places where the weather is warm. We don't see volcanoes in like places with snow or cold places like that. So I know that they're in more tropical places. Okay, and then based on the preview, I think we're probably going to learn about volcanoes. Okay, so that's gonna kind of be our guess, our prediction. Okay, so moving on to the click and clunk section. This is where we take a look at words we come across that we don't understand, okay? Click is like, okay, these words click and I know them smoothly. I'm having no problem understanding what I'm reading. Clunk is like, clunk, like you're hitting a wall. I'm not sure what this means, so I need to use some strategies, okay? So we all know of the vocabulary strategy that we have been using. We know that we could use that, so let's try to take a look at that, and then I'll come back to that. And then get the gist is something that good readers do to find the main ideas or the important ideas of the story, okay? So we've used paragraph shrinking before, and that's what we'll use today. So, and then I will come back to that as well. And then for the wrap up, we're gonna wrap everything up. We have two parts of that, the ask and answer questions. So what we wanna kind of ask yourself or kind of be thinking in your mind is, what questions might Mrs. Fye put on the test? How do I need to be thinking about some of these questions, okay? So I have some questions that we're going to answer, but first I'm going to read this passage to you about volcanoes. In early times, no one knew how volcanoes formed or why they spouted hot red molten rock. In modern times, scientists began to study volcanoes. They still don't know all the answers, but they know much about how a volcano works. Our planet made up of many layers of rock. The top layers of solid rock are called the crust. Deep beneath the crust is the mantle, where it is so hot that some rock melts. The melted or molten rock is called magma. Volcanoes are formed when magma pushes its way up through the crack of the Earth's crust. This is called a volcanic eruption. When magma pours forth on the surface, it's called lava. Okay, so if I take a look at this, and I'm just going to kind of remind you of how to use the vocabulary strategy, okay? So let's say we come across the word, and I'm going to say, I'm not sure what spouted means, okay? So we're going to use the 4 steps in the vocabulary strategy. So we're going to look for context clues around the word, okay? Break the word into parts, use context clues to guess the word meaning, and try your meaning out in a sentence, okay? So I'm going to take a look at the article, and around the word spouted, I'm going to see if there's anything that maybe, okay, it says spouted red hot molten rock, which in my head I'm picturing lava flowing over. So I am going to say that spouted means comes out of, or erupts, okay? And then step 2, I can't break the word down into parts. I don't see any prefix or suffix, so then I go to step 3. Step 3 again was guess the meaning of the word. Okay, so based on step 1, I think the word means erupt. Now I'm going to see if I can use it in a sentence to make sense, okay? In early times, no one knew how volcanoes formed or why they erupted. That makes sense, right? Yeah, so we could use that. Okay, so that's just a quick overview on the vocabulary strategy for those who may have forgotten how to use it, okay? So now in the get the gist part, we talked about paragraph shrinking, okay? Remember, the paragraph shrinking has 3 steps. So we have to identify who or what, okay? Identify the most important information about the who or what, and then shrink the information into a main idea statement of 10 words or less, okay? So I want something small that we can just kind of wrap up, give an overview, okay? So the passage is about volcanoes. I'm going to identify the most important parts, I think. So I think, based on the passage, the most important thing about volcanoes is what causes them to erupt, okay? So my main idea for this passage is magma pushes through the Earth's crust and erupts. Okay, that's just what I came up with. So there's a quick example there. Now, let's see if we can answer my question. So the questions I came up with were, who studied volcanoes in the modern times, okay? So I like to provide 3 questions, and so this is, a right there question. I can find it right in the passage. I did a think and search, and then I also did an author and me question, okay? So I'm going to go to the passage, and I'm going to take a look, and I see in modern times, scientists study the volcanoes. So scientists, I'm going to write that on the board. Okay, question number 2, how are volcanoes formed? Okay, I can go and search in here and see what it says. Volcanoes are formed when magma pushes its way through the crack of the Earth's crust. Okay, and then question number 3, why do you think it's important to know why volcanoes erupt? Well, I think it's kind of important to know why they erupt so we can tell when they're going to erupt. We know what signs to look for. I think those are kind of important things for our safety, right? Okay. Is there anything else that we learned that we didn't predict, or that Ms. Sy didn't predict here? Yeah, go ahead. Yes, Earth is made of rocks, layers of rocks, and the top layers are called the crust, the bottom are the mantle. Great. We also learned that volcanoes have been studied for many, many years, right? It's not something new. This has kind of been an ongoing thing, studies by scientists, right? Okay, great job, guys. I'm going to pass out a passage titled Hurricanes. Okay? Earth's mightiest storm. We are going to use the strategies that I just modeled for you to work our way through this passage, okay? So, if I take, excuse me. Okay. Pass out all these for you. Okay. Now, step one of the CSR is the board preview. Right, okay, so in preview, we are going to kind of guess to see what we think the passage is about. So I want you to I'm going to give you a few moments. I want you to skim the section, and I want you to tell me what you think the passage is about, okay? Yes. Hurricanes, right. Okay, hurricanes. That was my guess as well. So let's brainstorm what we know about hurricanes. They occur in the ocean. They look like tornadoes. Yeah, we don't experience tornadoes in Iowa, right? Okay, we're going to write all these things down on the board. Okay, now let's make a prediction on what we think this passage is about, what we think we're going to learn about hurricanes today. What do you think, guys? We think it's going to be about how hurricanes are formed? Okay, that's a pretty good prediction. Let's write our prediction on the board. Okay, I'm going to give you a moment to read the passage and click and clunk any words you're unsure of, okay? I want you to highlight the words on your paper and work with a partner to identify what the words mean, okay? What word are you unsure of? Atmosphere? Okay. Are there any words or clues around it to help you understand what it might mean? The envelope of air that surrounds the earth. Okay. Yeah. Can you break the word down? No. Okay. So using the vocabulary strategy based on what you know, or the clues from step one, what do you think it means? The atmosphere. Yeah, air outside the earth. Okay. Try using that in the sentence. Like all storms, they take place in the air outside the earth. Okay, that makes sense. So great job. All right, boys and girls, let's come back together and let's get the gist, okay? Can you give me a sentence in 10 words or less that sums the passage up? Anyone? Yeah. Low pressure areas and warm oceans cause hurricanes. Okay. That's a good one. Someone else have any other ideas? Hurricanes are the mightiest storms. Okay, that's a good one. Hurricanes are also known as typhoons and cyclones. Yeah, great job, guys. Those are all great answers. All right, so let's wrap it up here. I've got 3 questions for you to answer. I'm going to ask you the question. We're going to kind of go over these together, okay? Question number 1. Hurricanes cause damage to blank and blank. Look in the article, and then I want you to give me your feedback. Ashore and at sea. Yes, hurricanes do cause damage on the shore inland and at the sea. Very good. Question number 2. How are hurricanes formed? This is a think and search question, so search through the article, see what you can come up with. Hurricanes are formed when low pressure areas move over warm oceans. Great. And question number 3. Why do you think it's important for us to be educated about hurricanes? Yeah, so we can be prepared. If we know about them, we can avoid them. Great. Anyone else? Okay. Knowing that they occur in the ocean, we can kind of choose to live in a place or live in a house that we're going to be safe, right? We probably don't want to buy a house that is right along, Hurricane Alley or something like that, right? We want to be able to know what to do, and we kind of want to be informed about hurricanes, right? All right, that is great, guys. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Those are all really great ideas. We are going to be working more with CSR in the next few weeks, digging through informational text till we really get comfortable with this, okay? So before you leave today, I would like you to take out a slip of paper, and we're going to do an exit ticket. I would like for you to write the 4 main strategies of CSR on your exit ticket, and I want you to turn it into the exit ticket box before you leave, okay? All right. Thank you for working hard.